The Blokebusters podcast is proud to be a member of the Pod Bros Network. You can find us as well as other fine shows such as The Guy Huddle, Language of Bromance, and Dave's Nerd Compendium at podbros.com and on Twitter at Podbros Network. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Blokebusters podcast.
Welcome to episode 60 of the Blokebusters podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Brian.
And as always, do follow us on Twitter at Blokebusters, Facebook.com/Blokebusters, email us at blokebusterpodcast@gmail.com, and check out our little website at blokebusters.webs.com. It's a nice little oasis on the internet there. Right.
Great stuff.
Now, we will be talking about The Ridiculous Six in this episode, but first episode of the new year, we want to get some stuff out of the way.
Yes, some housekeeping here.
Yeah, we are playing with a bit of a new format, partially due to a little bit of personal stuff that's going on, but...
hey, I'm excited about this, Paul. So.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it for a while, and some events have happened that kind of pushed it forward for me. So what we're going to do is every month we're going to be doing one new release, which will be very interesting for us because we're going to have some serious discussions about which
Come
one
summer,
that
that's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, we're really going to have to nail them down there. We're also going to be doing a new addition to Netflix from the previous month. So it'll, could be anything really. We're just going to see what was added in the entire month, and then pick one.
Sadly, led me to watching Ridiculous Six.
Yes.
I have a bone to pick. But
yes, I'm sorry about that. And then we're also going to be trying as hard as we can to do 2 Film for Thought episodes a month as well. And seriously, send in any ideas you might have, or comments or anything. And, if we like
constructive if you can. Yes, just stop the podcast. Or
yes, we've had enough of those.
Thanks a lot, Mom. It's enough.
But, yeah, anything you send in, we'll talk about, and either we'll do just that, or we'll see if we can tweak it and do it. We're willing to try anything, really, so...
Pretty much.
Yeah. Alright, and so the only other thing to say, other than just we hope that you enjoy this new kind of format we're going to be trying for this year, is obviously we haven't done a Star Wars review.
What? No. What is this space battle film you speak of?
I know. Yeah, it just reeks of Star Trek copycatism to me. But no,
that same director.
Yeah, we haven't done a full review, but we thought it would be remiss of us if we didn't at least talk about it.
We need to mention the highest grossing film of all time.
Yes. Not adjusted for inflation yet.
Yeah. But will be, yeah.
Yeah, chances are it'll get there.
Yeah.
Alright, so.
Yes.
Did you like it?
Very much so.
Okay.
I went opening night, Thursday.
That must have been interesting.
12:30 a.m. In Easton,
Right.
which for those outside of the area is a large shopping center.
Very large.
Very large shopping center, yeah. And so with a very excited crowd. Cheers at the music, and cheers at the opening scroll.
The very short opening scroll. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it has been a bit long in the past, especially when you're waiting for the bomb that is Phantom Menace. Yeah, you didn't know the scroll was the best part, but I would have enjoyed it a little more.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Force Awakens, yeah, that night was so much fun. I would put it with... I was trying to think if it was better. I'm going to mark it equal to my Pacific Rim experience as far as what I think going to the movies is all about. Popcorn and
great crowds.
And great crowds, feeling the energy in the room. What you can't get with video on demand or Netflix or anything like that.
Unless you have a giant home theater set up or something.
Yeah, but even then, like, it's people you know.
Yeah.
You are presumably aren't inviting strangers in to watch with you.
Tangent already. Have you heard the news that Pacific Rim 2 has been shelved indefinitely? Yep.
You had to do this on air.
I know.
You have to break my heart on air.
I did. I'm
Indefinitely.
Sorry. Indefinitely. They have no idea if they're going to go back to
funding issues?
Possibly, but also...
Or contracted.
Well, Guillermo del Toro has been attached to another project that I think is coming out either next year or the year after.
Okay.
And the studio either doesn't want to do it without him, or wasn't sure about doing it anyway, and Guillermo del Toro was like the guy really pushing for it. Mm-hmm. So it's just been put up somewhere, and maybe they'll get back to it.
If Ridiculous 6 could exist, Pacific Rim 2 better fucking exist.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, I'm sure it will get made. I just, unfortunately, at this point, we have
There
no
is no
idea
justice in this world. Hashtag making a murderer. All right. All right. Maybe we'll get around that. Star Wars.
Yes.
Yes, amazing theater experience when I've gone ad nauseum about my horrible theater experiences on this podcast.
Yeah, well, I think opening night for something like this,
yes,
you're
because
not
you're
get
getting
any...
you're getting the people that want to be there, especially 12:30 in the morning when I didn't get to my own home by 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I saw it like a week later.
Right.
And then I have just seen it 3 days ago in this beautiful theater in my town of Delaware, the Strand.
I do like that theater.
Yes, beautiful old theater. Yeah, and that was a unique kind of experience on its own. Saw it in the middle of the afternoon. It was great. Popcorn and movie, $10.
Yeah. Always good up there.
But yes, as far as the film goes, I was very happy with the story. I think the acting was amazing. The newcomers, Boyega and Ridley, terrific.
And BB-8 as well.
And yes, of course. BB-8 goes without saying, the most adorable droid in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Take that, Jar Jar. I know you're not a droid, but yeah. So yes, film's awesome. Your critics say, it rehashes a little bit, too much, but I thought it was the perfect blend of nostalgia.
It kind of had to.
Things, and stuff that's fresh. Whereas The Lost World, I felt, was solely based on nostalgia.
Which worked for that franchise.
Yes, which works for that franchise, but didn't work enough for me.
Yes.
You can go and listen back to that podcast. But I was very happy with this. I do want to briefly mention, before I turn it over to you, the merchandising of this film.
Merchandising, where the real money for the movie is made.
So congratulations first to the filmmakers, everyone involved, for having a female protagonist. That is a strong character.
I think I know where this is
going.
I
hope no people want to get any dolls or toys or action figures or play sets for the kids featuring that character, because you won't find her. Because if you see, I put something on Facebook and on Twitter of a poster, and it's Boyega in the front.
Yep.
Ridley kind of in the background. Or not Ridley, it's Rey. Sorry, I'm using her.
Rey and Finn.
Yeah, I was mixing, but yes, they're redoing the Monopoly game because Darth Vader was in the Force Awakens one, and he's not even in this movie. Don't even say his helmet, because that's not him. But he's not even in this. She isn't. She wasn't even in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like, for someone that has nieces, and where strong female leads are really hard to come by. I mean, my nieces are all into Frozen, which is great because that actually had two strong female characters.
It did.
But I think she's such a great example, Rey, and I would have just liked that. So, use hashtag Where's Rey. This happened on Guardians of the Galaxy, Where's Gamora?
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Shoot. Oh, there was another character that I'm blanking on right now, a female character, but where that kind of took took to Twitter. But
it seems to
it's
me
just
like
frustrating for me.
It would be as if an Aliens playset came out and Ridley wasn't anywhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, if this was a male protagonist,
Ripley.
you would see the toys everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, just the sexism of the marketing is the only disappointing thing of the whole experience for me.
Yeah, and
but oh yes,
I was just going to say I did mean Ripley. I said Ridley, which is the director.
We're all. There's so much crossover with Daisy Ridley and Ridley Scott. Daisy Ridley Scott. Okay, great Wheel of Fortune.
Yes.
Before and after. And I had one. Yes, I don't know. I've lost my marbles.
Yes.
Hook reference. Okay, I'm bringing it with the mid-1990s.
And shockingly, a reference I fully understood.
Yes, sadly.
All right. So I am going to start my side of it, and I'll try and keep it short since we need to get
I go
on.
long. Yes,
but I have seen the film once.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it on the 2nd of January. And I went up to the Marcus Theatre. You are a big fan of Marcus Theatre.
Love that theatre.
And when I went to see it, again, this is January 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
This was, I believe it was 1:30 in the afternoon. We got there. The only tickets available were in the front row. And we're there waiting for another couple to come up. And we're going to be sitting together. So they turn up, we get to the kiosk, and we're buying the tickets, and as we're buying the tickets, the two sections in the middle disappear. Mm-hmm. And then the section next to that disappears.
Okay.
So we bought front row, far right, those 4 seats. I sat in the furthest right seat.
Fantastic.
And I really like this film.
Wow.
It is not impact on my film going experience.
You had to ice your neck for 2 days.
I had the slight neck. But it was really good. I go on record as saying I was not the biggest fan of the original trilogy. I only enjoyed the prequels because I liked seeing the graphics and like the look and all that. The actual story was terrible, but yeah, at least the graphics at the time were really good. Now they're shit.
Now they're which is why you use models.
Yeah, they do not hold up.
Yes.
And then this film just knocks it out of the park. I mean, J.J. Abrams does really well. I've heard people saying that he does really well at like first films, and again, he did really well here. He was able to draw from New Hope, is it? To draw enough from that. So I guess people that weren't that knowledgeable of the original trilogy would have a similar experience to the people that first went when that came out, and then also enough of a nod to the original trilogy that would entertain people that were big fans, and then more than enough new stuff in there, and great comedy bits.
Yes, it was such a good... Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. It was such a great blend of humor and drama.
I think the biggest laugh in the screening I went to, there's a point where Kylo Ren gets just a little mad. Just a little.
Oh, okay.
And these two stormtroopers come walking around the corner, and all you see is from outside, and you just hear this crashing and smashing, and one of them just kind of stops the other one. They look at each other and turn around and go back away.
Yeah, that was a great laugh opening night. Yeah, that Boyega killed it in this too. When he tries to save Max Van Sydow, and Kylo Ren confronts him. Who talks first? You talk first.
Yeah.
You talk first.
You mean not Boyega, the guy that played Poe?
Oh, Poe. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's a great bit.
That and then yes, and then later I loved, of course, just by and large, I loved Rey and Finn's chemistry together.
Yeah,
and they're kind of butting heads, but really liking each other. Where he's in the Millennium Falcon, and she's trying to fix it. Yeah, because she's pointing where I'm pointing.
Yeah.
Where I'm pointing. That was a great little bit, and all those just kind of flowed seamlessly.
And the thing that kind of made BB-8 the best droid that has ever been in any of the Star Wars ever was when Finn gives him the thumbs up, and he just gets out that little
lighter.
with the that endeared him to everybody. At that point.
That's something that on the surface would sound like it would be very cheesy, but it just played really well.
Worked so well. And then my favorite bit in the entire film is something that shows exactly how much Han had grown over the film. Spoiler, Han is in the film. Where they get to this planet that's a gigantic Death Star planet, and they need to get in and damage it in such a way that it will destroy itself. And they get there, and Han just says, like, well, what's the plan? And he said, yeah, well, we'll just use the Force. And Han just goes, that's not how the Force works. That got a huge laugh as well.
He had some good ones too. Yeah, it was very well played, the humor.
Yeah, and we are intentionally not doing any real spoilery things here.
Just in case there's someone that has been very busy with real life things and still wants to see this film.
And as well, like enough people have gone over it that you've heard multiple people talking about the spoilers. We just wanted to give our rough views on the film. I would say it's my favorite Star Wars film.
I was happy because this was the first Star Wars film that I was able to see in the theater and have a good experience watching it. I'm not counting when the older ones were re-released. I'm saying an original first run, theatrical release. I got to see a good Star Wars movie, a very good Star Wars movie. So I was very happy, and I might go see it a fourth time here before it leaves.
All right. Well, I'm sure you've got a couple of months before it goes.
I'm sure. Yeah, because I think Titanic was in theaters for like 6 months.
Something along those lines.
And
it's already beat that.
Well, and Avatar. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
it's. I think. Are there any records left other than all time maybe grossing?
Well, all time adjusted for inflation is the only thing left, and that's Gone with the Wind, which I think made double what Avatar did. Adjusted for inflation.
Oh.
So
I don't know if that should be a real record, though. I mean, that's how exact is that science?
Well, quite.
I know, but I don't know. That just doesn't seem like it's.
I'm just going to be interested to see how close.
Seems like there should be more factors taken into it. Is maybe what I'm saying. Than,
Oh yeah, probably. I believe they do adjusted for inflation currency as well as adjusted for how much a ticket is.
How much a ticket is. Plus other forms of entertainment now. People don't have to go to the movies. If you wanted to go get entertainment, then you had to go out to the theater.
Yeah, that was the thing. Back then, Gone with the Wind, people saw it 10 times. Just because, it
Where are you
going
to go? Go listen to your favorite radio show again? No. You're going to go see Gone with the Wind.
Yes, no radio reruns there. It was the only way you could rewatch something back then, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see where this goes from here. At this point, they've made almost half of the money that they bought the franchise for. Now, obviously I'm not taking into account how much it would have cost to make the film, but just in box office, they've made back that money. So,
yeah, I know we got to move on, but that's another thing. This film looked beautiful.
Yep.
It looked great. I know there are a ton of special effects shots, but I think they're going to hold up for quite a while.
It's not going to be until we are in realistic hologram territory that we look back and say, well, it's not that.
Dated. No. But that the Millennium Falcon chase scene with the TIE fighters and going through the huge freighter ship looked amazing. All right, I know we're delaying because we don't really want to talk about this next
there might be a reason for this. Okay.
We're really happy talking about a great film. All right, so we're going to completely do a 180 here.
Yes, we are. Now, The Ridiculous Six.
How aptly titled is this film?
Yes. And there were even a couple of roll credit moments in it as well, if you're a CinemaSins fan there. Okay. The cast for The Ridiculous Six.
Can we just list the people not in this film? That will save us time.
I know. Okay. Here we go. Just Adam Sandler as Tommy White Knife Stockburn, Terry Crews as Chico Stockburn, and I'm apologizing for mispronouncing his name. I can only assume it's Jorge Garcia
Jorge Garcia
as Herm Stockburn, Taylor Lautner as Little Pete Stockburn, Rob Snyder as Ramon Stockburn, more on him later, Luke Wilson as Danny Stockburn, Nick Nolte as Frank Stockburn, and Will Forte, Nick Swardson, Steve Zahn, Julia Jones, Lavelle Crawford, Jared Sandler, Paul Sado, Danny Trejo, Harvey Keitel, Steve Buscemi, David Spade, Whitney Cummings, John Lovett, Saginaw Grant, Norm MacDonald, Chris Parnell, Blake Shelton, John Turturro, Vanilla Ice, Dan Patrick, Chris Kattan, Linda Murray, and Jackie Sandler. Not to mention all of the other extras in this thing.
Dear Lord. Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
So, apparently Sandler's formula in the recent years is just throw as many people into these movies as you can, and they'll make some money. And sadly, he is not wrong.
No, this has become somehow the most watched film in Netflix history.
Because kids are stupid, Paul. Because parents put this on for their kids, so they don't have to deal with them.
Which I feel kind of bad for those kids.
Because they should be watching, I mean, maybe not necessarily Clockwork Orange, but good films.
But on top of that, clearly the parents didn't watch the film before showing it to their kids. There are some things in this that...
Oh, well, what wouldn't you want to take away from this? Blatant racism? I think we should probably table that for now.
At the very least, they'll hear Terry Crews mention the fact that he can play piano with his dick.
Oh, and we get to kind of see that later. Yeah. Uh-huh.
At least they called it back. Yay!
Yay! Call back. I get it. He's holding his arms crossed. Oh, and the piano's going. That's clever. So I had time to watch this Thursday. I wisely went to go see Star Wars and put this off as long as I possibly could. And then I fired it up last night. Not tired, not exhausted or anything. I had to shut it off because I could not take any more. This movie's 2 hours. This movie needs to be 80 minutes long.
Yep.
If that. 75, preferably.
Yeah.
This is 2 hours. That is longer than some action franchise films. And it just kept, I checked the runtime and I was at an hour and a half. I said, I'm calling it. I'm done. I'm done. So
I'm hoping you finished it.
That was like, oh, do I want to finish this? So I woke up at 6:30 this morning. Delayed, and then put it on at 7. And then I checked the ticker, the runtime, whatever you want to call it, 3 different times in that half hour to see how far along I was.
Yep.
And mercifully, it did end. Oh my gosh, I haven't had to do that in a long time, where I just could not take any more of the bullshit. I just think of that podcast we promoted, The Worst Idea of All Time. If they did this, they would surely kill themselves.
I think they have to now.
Although Sex and the City 2 is kind of wearing down on them, or wearing them down, I should say.
Yeah.
This one is a huge heaping pile of shit. In short, that's my review.
Okay.
Where would you like to go from there?
Well, shall we at least try and find something we liked?
Silver lining, if we can steal a line. I had a couple of times where I genuinely had a little giggle.
Right.
And then I hated myself and the film for making me do that.
Yeah.
The first, I should have written them down as they were happening, but the first I remember was a little kid holding up a little tomahawk.
Twice,
yes. That kind of got a chuckle out of me.
The fact that they've just made the film with all these people in it and they just reuse a shot.
But the first time, it was kind of caught me off guard, and that made me kind of smile. That's all that's coming to mind right now.
Alright, well, speaking personally, I am a John Lovitz fan.
Yes,
the way that he presents himself in his roles and stuff, I enjoy. So
he's always
I enjoyed seeing John Lovitz in this film. Not really the rest of them. I've seen some things that say Steve Buscemi's character is awful. I think it's not as bad as some of the other things he's done. He was just kind of an enjoyable slow down part of the film, where he's just going around just like, oh yeah, it is. Like, they actually did a way of getting exposition out without too many terrible jokes, and then he reached the donkey, and then the scene just went downhill from there. So,
more donkey shit gags, please. Oh, I love
them. A plot point in this film revolves around donkey diarrhea. I mean, it's just,
donkey diarrhea. So, wait, have you seen Grown Ups 2?
I have not.
Okay, so yes, they traded out moose piss or deer piss for donkey diarrhea. So he's gone. Sandler's up in his game.
Well, actually, if you've seen 8 Crazy Nights, which I would hope you haven't,
I have, sadly.
Yeah,
yes.
Deer poop.
Oh, see, I don't recall anything other than hating it.
Yeah, it's bad.
So yeah, you mentioned Steve Buscemi.
Yeah,
and
it wasn't terrible.
But yes, the worst idea guys have brought this up too. What dirt does Adam Sandler have on him? Because it can't be pure friendship that keeps him in his movies.
I don't know.
Because he's been on an amazingly successful HBO drama.
Yeah, Boardwalk Empire. In case you don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do these garbage films anymore.
No, I get the feeling that, like, I have a friend who, if he asked me to be in something, no matter what it is, I would do it. And
even if he had to put on blackface. I don't know why my brain went there. But.
Yeah. Well, I genuinely don't know, because knowing my friend, like, he wouldn't do that.
Okay, he said anything, so I was just.
But
I was kind of just going with the theme of this film.
Yeah, I may have to read the script in the head, but
exactly.
But yeah,
I get the spirit of what you're saying,
and I think that like they probably worked together, like either as they were growing up or just when they were both starting out, and they kind of made this. I'm sure they've made this agreement where, like, yeah, anytime you need me on something, just give me a call.
And I'm sure Buscemi isn't calling Sandler a lot. Like, oh, we really want you in this episode of Boardwalk Empire to play with some shampoo bottles.
Somehow I doubt that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh my god. So I covered the runtime. Oh my god, the runtime. Didn't that? Didn't you think it should have been over like way before it was over?
Yeah, I mean. The weirdest thing is, I don't know what they would have cut. Maybe just cut back on the length of all the jokes.
Well,
it's the long running jokes.
Well, we're meeting the brothers up until like over an hour into the film.
Yeah.
That needed to be taken care of Avenger style. First 40 minutes or first 30 minutes, 35, whatever. You know, I don't know. It was.
Yeah. It took a long time to get going. Definitely did.
There was some of the worst writing I've ever seen in a film. Or ever heard, I guess I should say. The lines were so forced. And I mean, with the writing and the acting. Was there anyone I liked in this movie? I'm trying to think.
Now, I have a conflicting point, because I liked that Taylor Lautner, who is basically just known as the dreamy werewolf guy from Twilight, was willing to do this.
Play the water boy extra? Yeah.
I hate comedy that derives entirely from this person is stupid.
So you loved his character.
Oh, yes. Yeah, favorite character in the film. This guy, his character is so stupid. At one point in the film, he is writing a letter and forgets he's writing a letter, expecting his mother to reply to him in his head.
Yes, that is hospitalization stupid.
Yeah. That is, you're not able to walk around under your own mental capacity.
He would not have survived to that age if he is that stupid.
Yeah.
Not that we should be going for any sort of realism in this film, but...
well, there's something I want to cover as well. So, I was willing, at the very beginning, to go with, okay, Adam Sandler's character has a little bit of a mystical fighting thing.
That is some mystical shit, Paul.
Yeah. Yes, it was. I was
sorry to bury the lead there.
Yeah, I was kind of willing to just be like, okay, this guy's like a better fighter and and maybe the idea is they were going for the spirits are guiding him type thing. I was fine with that. And then you saw some of these other people, and it's like, they really are stretching it here. And then we reach Harvey Keitel's character, who gets decapitated,
yes,
and his body
keeps
walks around
shooting,
firing his weapons.
Because people are chickens.
Yes. Firing his weapons, some of them into his own decapitated head. And then he falls to the ground, and then fires a couple more shots. And then that's it. No.
Big no on that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
We are not in a PG-13 Looney Tunes.
No.
But we were there.
It exited the realm of reality that any film I've ever seen has been in, and just decided to go full on, like, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, it was like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or something. Just introduced this cartoon world, and then, we're just supposed to accept that as things that happen in this world.
Yeah. I don't get it.
And poor Harvey Keitel, what the hell is he doing in this movie?
I know.
He's the goddamn wolf. He's the wolf. Wolf will be there shortly.
Yeah, I don't get it. And that scene follows possibly the best scene in the entire film, where he is fighting Luke Wilson's character, who is keeping the glass of whiskey or whatever it is perfectly still during the fight. That was really well done.
Callbacks to Simon Pegg. Keeping his beer while fighting in World's End.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think they saw that and were like, we can do that.
Yeah. Let's change it up to a whiskey.
The only thing about it, well, this one went up to it, is he didn't miss a drop. It all stayed in the glass.
Yeah, very true. So, good on you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's why I liked it. It had that spark in my head of like, I've seen this before and I liked it then.
Yeah, I like it a little less now, but okay, how about the eye scoop? How did you feel about that scene?
I didn't care.
I didn't care for that.
No, and the thing is,
and it was such a slow reveal, an hour later. Oh wait, they all have two eyes? No way! Get out of town. Because oh my god, that was ridiculous. I know.
And the stupid thing about it is the way that they all respond to him doing it. It basically gives away how it's going to end. In that, oh no, none of us did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just such a forced gag, and then the callback was so late and so lazily thrown in.
It really was just like, what? You just like, it
was full of those callbacks that were just, like I said, they didn't make a running gag of it. It was just like, if we weren't, not to toot our own horns, if we weren't, I mean, we're somewhat astute film watchers. I think
we pick up on stuff.
So I'm not going to. I mean, this is no way to sound like a dick. I can understand how some people would not understand the callbacks because it's been so far between when it was originally mentioned.
There are people that don't have the best retention over.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, with the pianist, yes. The penisist,
yes, the pianist,
yes, like that, and, so many of those things. The one running gag there, you got red on you was that's some mystical shit or whatever. Yeah, I think we heard that 4 times maybe.
Had to have been.
And hilarious every time.
Yeah,
Paul. Mm-hmm. Got me every time in the funny bone.
And they basically botched the final fight scene as well, because all it is he's in the dark and he's shot at once, maybe twice, and they did a nice an actually good callback as well, where he's referencing something that he was told by his fiancée at the beginning of the film.
Yes.
And then you just hear, and then very slowly the flame comes up, and the guy's stuck to a wall with some knives, and that's it. That's the end there.
Yep.
Okay.
He's in jail though now, Paul.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe he's still down there.
Oh, ridiculous 6'2". He gets out. Let's not say that.
I mean, the saddest part I found watching this film is the plot, not taking into account characters and stuff.
Oh, I never even read the plot.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're missing much.
Yeah. Actually, I want to hear this. Okay. What is the plot?
Well, this is
according
the plot.
According to IMDb.
Yes. An outlaw who is raised by Native Americans, Indians, first of all. That's my first correction.
Indians.
Discovers that he has 5 half-brothers. Together, the men go on a mission to find their wayward, deadbeat dad.
Okay, yeah. Again, not all of the film, but...
Yeah, generally the idea, their dad's in trouble and they need to go save him or something along those lines. They need to get some money together. What? Who cares?
Alright, so the actual plot of this film, where the guy goes to save his dad, kind of a typical Western style thing. A guy has to go save someone and finds out that he has all these brothers. So on the way he's learning about this family he never had, and at the end, they are all now cemented in his family. That's actually not a bad story. Told terribly. It's got
not even told.
No, I mean, it's got horrible jokes. Just they either fall flat or just do not work. There's no real actually funny jokes in the film.
There are what I would recall jump scares in a horror movie. How that's not. I'm not really frightened.
That's a reflex.
That's a reflex. That is my DNA protecting myself. Much in the way, like I said, there was 1 or 2 times where I got a smile or a giggle. I think that is just a reflex of. I mean, but because it quickly wears off, that was stupid though. Catch yourself, okay, I see the inherent nature of the comedy there, but it didn't fully work.
And again, talking about, as we said earlier, that being people that kind of notice things. Yeah. You saw a flashback for Adam Sandler's character where he watches a guy shoot and kill his mother. And you see the tattoo on his hand. And so at the end of the film, that comes back it was this guy. However, when his dad gets taken by the gang, at the beginning, you see that tattoo on Danny Trejo's hand.
Yeah.
So
we saw it, but he missed it.
He missed it entirely, even though he's there. He's the same distance away from him. I don't...
don't hurt yourself trying to think out why they did anything in this movie. I also had written down "smoking fox?" ? Groan.
That was your groan one.
Well, many groans.
Let's see.
As far as names,
Adam Sandler's wife is in it as Never Wears Bra. There's another character whose name is Beaver Breath.
But as far as the main, one of the main characters,
I mean, there were a couple of points in this film where I found myself thinking, I'd heard of the controversy of The People Walked Off.
Oh, I was just say we need to get to that big xenophobic elephant in the room.
Aside from the names, I was watching it trying to think, okay, what about this would make them walk off? And I couldn't... maybe there are some inaccuracies and I don't know enough about that culture to be able to spot them. But they didn't seem, especially the village elder, they didn't seem to really be portraying them in a bad light or anything. Maybe
I think it was more how Sandler and his character dealt with the world that was offensive. I'm not one to get easily offended, but I was feeling offended for them.
And And Adam Sandler's character seemed to flip back and forth between trying to talk the way that a Native American would and not talking that way. Like in the middle of the
first
film,
of all,
he lost
can't
it.
act.
Yeah,
he had a one-off and Punch Drunk Love.
I would argue Big Daddy was all right.
But I mean,
yeah, there
were good. That was a decent script, and it had some funny moments, and the kid was just adorable. So there are a lot of reasons to like that film. But I don't think he's ever been a strong actor. At least I don't think he gives a shit to be one anymore. Certainly, I think he's shown that he just wants to have a good time with his friends, which he's said just as much in interviews, and make a lot of money.
And you're entitled to that, I suppose.
Yes. But where I take offense is when there are decent filmmakers out in the world trying to get people to see their films, and it's this system that we're in. Sandler is a god, and he can keep turning out these turd balls one after the next, and they make money. And I don't. It's. I mean. Didn't you not find it incredibly racist?
No, it was. It definitely was. I mean,
he was doing a "You Smoking Peace Pipe" impression. Like it wasn't. I don't know. I didn't see Lone Ranger because of obvious reasons. Yeah, but I don't know what was worse as far as just.
I would like to think this
because
I don't feel that Johnny Depp would have played it too racist. I don't think so. I don't feel like he would go for the cheap gag.
Yeah.
But I pulled up some of the information here about the controversy. There was originally a report that a dozen of the actors and actresses, as well as the cultural advisor, left the set. Turns out 4 out of 100 actors left the set. So obviously they felt that there was something in it, probably Adam Sandler's character. Trying to see, there was one person here who said they left because the film portrayed Native Americans in a negative light and took satire too far, and the portrayal of women was degrading. I would definitely agree with that one.
To that.
And there were a representative of Netflix responded saying, "You're gonna love this. The movie has ridiculous in the title for a reason, because it is ridiculous. It is a broad satire of Western movies and the stereotypes they popularize, featuring a diverse cast that is not only part of, but in on, the joke."
I never saw evidence that they were in on the joke of racism or sexism.
No.
I mean, those things, it's all how it's told. It's all how it's done. Prime example, like, if you're going to get offended by a film, Blazing Saddles, hello.
Yeah.
But done cleverly, intelligently,
and accurately.
Yes, and nodding their heads to the jokes.
Yeah. That's the problem, I think. And Leslie Nielsen always said as well, like, if you're going to play these types of roles, you play it straight. There is no comedy to your portrayal. No. You have to play it absolutely
comedy
straight
in the inference
to get it, which is why Blazing Saddles did it so well, because those characters, there's no them trying to be funny. It's just they are funny because of
how absurd they are.
Yes.
So I mean, I love Netflix. Of course, I am in modern America, but don't tell me it's because that you can't say a blanket statement like, "Well, ridiculous is the title. That gives us a free reign to be as stupid as we want to be and offensive as we want to be." Well, it's called ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, that does not fly. That does not hold water with me at all.
Yeah, that's kind of like saying, well, the reason there's only one alien in Alien is because it's called Alien. No.
No.
If we're going to be doing these literal representations of all of the film titles, then a lot of films that are out there are just going to be incredibly boring. Like, it's just
exactly. Yes.
Like, I don't get it. There's a little bit more here where it says one of the other Native American actors, oddly named Ricky Lee, said that previous reports have been exaggerated. And 150 extras were stayed there, kept working, they were fine. And before the rap party, he and several others were actually approached by Sandler specifically to speak out and talk about this controversy. And so at least he was aware that there are these people that had left and there was bad blood, and he wanted to make sure that people were talking about it. So fair enough on him, I guess. I mean,
I don't
he
think
caused
he
it in the
gives a
first
shit.
place, but still. And according to the actor, those who left raised legitimate issues, but it was the wrong battlefield.
What does that mean?
No, I don't know. But that is what he said.
I don't believe Sandler cared. Otherwise, he would spend more time writing a script worthwhile.
Probably.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't really have any saving graces for this film. I guess the only thing I could say is the music wasn't bad. Do you have any issues with the music?
I mean, yeah, they had, a nice, typical Western suite at the end. Yeah. The font was alright. I'm really stretching here.
Yeah,
the Western font was alright.
I have no issues with the font.
Yeah.
I guess I still don't understand how he was able to get all of the actors. I mean, I guess the same thing could be said for A Million Ways to Die in the West. That thing tanked, and it was filled with loads. It had Liam Neeson in it. I don't.
Well, yeah, time and time again, you can't just throw your movie full of actors that are known entities and have it work. You got to do a little more legwork than that. But one example that I had of just horrible writing and all that. Things such as, let's see, one of the first things that the Left Eye Gang, as they are known, say to Adam Sandler's fiancée, who is Smoking Fox, they call her Poker Hot Tits. And then there's another thing that they say later, it's like, okay, that's a reference to something in the 1900s. Like, there were so many, thank you, I wish I'd written these down, references to, like, technology or just cultural references that should not have existed in this time frame.
Yeah.
But clearly we're in a different universe in the chalkboard, different timeline where headless corpses can shoot guns for an hour after they die.
And again, like, Blazing Saddles handled it perfectly, because the only thing that they really talked about in the film, until they literally break the fourth wall, which is the way you do it, is that they mentioned something which was an ongoing lawsuit at the time. That's fine.
Yeah. To
just randomly reference things that there is no way in hell these people would know about doesn't work. I don't...
It's just lazy writing. That's all it is. It's very, very lazy writing. It feels like the script was written in 48 hours. Wow. A lot of nose candy was on the table. I don't know that I'm not impressed. But, yeah. If Sandler was there, no one else got anything. But that's a big nose joke. I'm not calling him a cokehead.
No, yes. Although, you are going to have to keep in the word allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. Allegedly. Throw allegedly all over. Yes. It was for the humor, which this film had zero of. But yes. At every turn, I can't recall one instance where they didn't go for the low-hanging fruit. I would love to have seen, like, where you think you know where the joke's going, but every time we were right. That is exactly where the joke went. I would like to see, they didn't go for that. They actually went for something slightly clever, but I cannot recall one instance of that.
No, I'm trying to think
it's like, nope, this is going to be a poop joke. Yep, there's a poop joke. Oh, this is going to be a boob joke. Oh, yep, that's a boob joke.
And, let us just double check here. Rob Snyder's character, his jokes consisted entirely, and that might sound like an exaggeration, but it isn't, of either donkey jokes or Mexican food jokes.
And those two came together wonderfully.
Yes. It's not blackface, but he went to the tanning salon and then drew a 1910s silent movie villainous moustache on himself.
Yes.
Got the biggest sombrero they could find. And that's his outfit for the film. Okay. Yeah, let's do this, shall we? And I mean, there is one joke in the film that is not donkey or food related, and it is when he says that his mother is Spanish.
And that was supposed to be a joke.
Yeah, because
I must have missed that one.
Because then Adam Sandler says, "I think she's Mexican," and his response is, "Lying bitch."
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, classic line.
And to be honest, I was kind of fine with the Terry Crews character saying, like, "Yes, I'm not 100% white." Like, that one was alright.
Yeah.
And then it kept going. I'm not 100% white went for a minute. It's like, you can get away with maybe 2 lines, and then you want to get away from it.
Then the horse is dead, and you are still flogging away. I mean,
I
Taylor
think
Lautner, like that character,
the hanging scene.
Well, just the voice the whole time. It just was nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's weird,
I
but
think we should be done talking about this.
I guess the only other thing I can say, like I've said, I enjoyed John Lovitz just because I like John Lovitz.
Because he's John Lovitz, yes.
And
ladies,
I have no issue with Luke Wilson.
No, I'm not quite sure why he got it wrapped up into this either, but
but his character to me is the only not badly written character. He had a backstory.
I think that's mostly to do with his acting. He's a decent actor, and I've enjoyed him in almost anything he's in. But
his backstory, like, it took too long to get to it.
As did everything in this film.
I believe it's the 3rd time he mentions, like, "No, I need to talk to my dad," when they finally say, "Why?" And then he tells them, and he was Abraham Lincoln's bodyguard, which is the worst bit. Is his worst bit in the film is the flashback to Abraham Lincoln being as his bodyguard.
Yeah, because that's how that went down. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like, he's all right. I didn't mind him. That's what I'll say.
I didn't mind him,
and
I think as good as we can get as a compliment.
And I guess I didn't really have an issue with Jorge Garcia, but he was just grunting for the entire film. So
yeah.
And again, apologies if that isn't how you actually say his name.
I believe it is. Hurley from Law.
Yeah, there you go.
But we'll just call him Hurley. John Lovitz. David Spade, I didn't mind for the minute or two he was around.
Yes, but again, he was one of those characters that made the references that.
Yeah,
he made the Home Alone
Spade.
reference.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And right. He's the one that specifically mentions Home Alone, and then what's the signal? It's hands to cheek. Like, oh god, wait a minute of
Yeah. Oh my god. Podcast Land. Paul was doing the aftershave.
I'm doing the
thing.
Home Alone.
Yeah, but I'm sure you could put that together because you have a brain, unlike this film. And I need to really start calling this film. This compilation of moving images.
Yes.
Or of still images. Yeah. Oh my god, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, not a movie though.
Alright, okay.
Should we bother with a rating?
Well, I think you should, given what you are known for giving some film ratings.
Well, I don't think. I mean, Mordecai is the high watermark. I can't top Mordecai, and neither can this film as far as awfulness goes. But it is not far off.
All right. So what are you going to say? Well, not far off. Minus infinity.
Minus infinity. So I would think I'd have to write a formula. I think I'd have to write a formula down for that to make sense.
Minus infinity minus r to the power 2 or something.
Yes. It is. I'm just gonna go with a big old minus 20. All right. On a scale, mind you, that ends at minus 10. It is doubly as bad as I can imagine a film being.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stick within the minus.
You can stick within the rules.
Within our set rules here, but yeah, minus 9. Right, like that. Like I said, there's a couple of things in it that aren't horrible, but the rest.
Do you recall
is
off the top of your head what we gave Dread? I think I was like a minus 8 or something. Or 8
you were minus. Let's see. Oh, that's because you were still between 0 and 10, and I went with minus 13, but I was going between 0 and 20 at the time. Okay. So for me that would be adjusted. I would say probably a minus 7.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's still top 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's...
Let's never do another one of these Sandler ones again. Let's do The Cobbler next. Yay.
Well...
How many pictures does he have with Netflix? 4, isn't it? In a 4-picture deal?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So 2 more to go. Hopefully one comes out before the end of this year, and then we can do that.
All right, I will concede to 1 more.
All right.
But let's watch something good on Netflix next time.
Yes,
let's break it up.
Well... In that case, I will quickly throw out my Netflix recommendation, which will probably be the same for you as well. So don't watch this film, but do watch, as you mentioned earlier, Making a Murderer.
I'm not finished yet, so
I am
no
2
spoilers
episodes from the end.
I am 4, I believe. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I unfortunately read, scrolling through Facebook, and there's one of those articles that just has the headline of Juror speaks out, and I happen to read the rest of it.
I've had a little too much spoiled from USA Today and Facebook, but
I've now gone past that point. So,
I'm
okay.
I kind of know how everything's going, and I don't know why I'm continuing to watch because I'm just going to get even more pissed off than I currently am watching this. But
the one thing I will tell you when it comes to like what might have been spoiled for you for the Stephen Avery stuff is I have now gone past the end of the trial, and there's still 2 more episodes to go. So there's more stuff there.
Okay, yeah. But yes, I'm just thinking how this will date this podcast in years to come. Like, remember when everyone was upset? It's like if we were talking about cereal and not the breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah, if you get that one.
But it's really
it's
well
certainly
made.
Taking the world by storm right now. But.
Really well made, and
although it is hard, I think, for any documentary or documentarian to be completely unbiased, and this series clearly has a bias.
Yes, but I would argue that everything we've seen kind of supports that. Yes,
but I mean, I know I accidentally read part of it. I mean, you can't accidentally read part of an article, but I saw that and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Where there are some things that are glossed over or left out of this,
right.
To kind of make a point. But,
a lot of times, especially, I was actually talking to some people about this. It seemed like what happened was when he got out of jail the first time, which is dealt with in the first episode, that the documentary crew went to interview everyone then, and then this stuff started happening, and they were like, let's keep going. Like, so I find it interesting. Actually, what I find the most interesting is how much access they had and everything they were able to look at. Like, all of this stuff that you would imagine you couldn't get. They had interviews with both the prosecutors and the defense while the trial was going on.
Yeah.
You don't get that.
I am amazed at how much access there's and everything. But these, I mean, if you're not watching it, start watching it. Just to meet these people is an incredible thing. I don't want to come off condescending or patronizing, but it is very interesting the lives these people lead. And
just
kind of the all for one for all culture of this family.
Although there's definitely some splits which are interesting to see, and back and forth as well. So it's been really interesting to see, and it's also a slight commentary on how the justice system can work.
Or can't.
Yes. When I say can work, the word can was emphasized.
It's... There are... and we'll get to this in our Film for Thought episode, however these get released, but there was a Last Week Tonight episode where John Oliver really took on... he has a main story every week. Really took on the American justice system. And it is so flawed and so geared around towards convictions.
I know the one you're talking about.
Just conviction rates, and who cares if you throw an innocent person in jail? There are, let's get them in jail. I'm not giving any spoilers on this show because I haven't seen all of it. So,
there in the John Oliver thing, I know we'll try and do this as quick as we can. He mentioned things where some people end up getting arrested and they either can't pay the fine, so have to go to jail, at which point when they come out, they end up going back in because of something that was caused while they were in jail. or if they do pay the fine, but they then also had to pay a lawyer that represented them, and then they had to pay the state costs, and then because they can't pay that, they end up in jail. Like it's all of these lower income people.
If you're wealthy, you get out on bail. If you're poor, you're stuck in jail.
Yeah,
he's actually I think done 2 pieces on. Like one, I think it was on jails, and one was on like in prison. But I think he's done it. Twice. But
I mean, fair enough.
But yes, we will. I think we need to wrap this up in a pretty little bow now.
Yeah. So yes, again, borrowing from the worst idea of all time. Don't watch this movie.
Watch Blazing Saddles or Three Amigos. Three Amigos, that would be, not Amigos. Sorry, I was channeling my entertainer Taylor Lautner. Gee, Paul, don't watch Ridiculous Six.
That kind of sounded like you were actually trying to tell everyone to watch the 3 Emilio brothers, the Estevez brothers.
What happened to that third? I don't know. But yes, those are great examples of Western satire. Even, I'll throw Kill Bill for its nods to, at least the first one, to spaghetti westerns and things of that nature. But don't watch this one.
No,
There's nothing in it for you.
Yeah, I mean,
unless you want some Burrow shit.
I'll say cut. If you ever do end up watching it for some reason, cut about an hour and 20 minutes in or so, and you'll get to the John Lovitz bit. And John Lovitz, David Spade, not too bad. Skip past Vanilla Ice when he's talking, and then end it when they leave, and then you're good.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Okay.
All right. Well, I've been Paul.
I've been Brian.
Don't watch the film.
Don't watch it.
Bye.
I started out trying to do the Universal theme and went right into Star Wars.
I was like, you did the Universal theme. I kind of did a Mexican hat dance thing, and then you went into Star Wars.
Okay. That is our medley. Yes.
And that is staying in.
Oh, God, we're recording. Murder me now.
That's going at the end.
All right.